Ever wonder if castor oil can actually work wonders for your eyes? From reducing dry eye symptoms to possibly even boosting lash health, castor oil has been getting a lot of attention lately. But does it really live up to the hype? Or is it all just another internet myth? Well, I've done the research to separate fact from fiction, and trust me, what I found might surprise you. Stick around to discover what castor oil can actually do for your eyes. Castor oil, it's one of those age-old remedies that's been passed down for generations. If your grandparents didn't swear by it, you've probably seen it pop up online, with people raving about how it can work wonders for the eyes. Claims range from helping with dry eyes to boosting eyelash growth, reducing eye bags, and even managing cataracts and eye floaters. But is there any truth to it all? Well, I decided to dig into the research to find out what's real and what's just hype. And let me tell you, I came across some fascinating info on how castor oil might actually impact eye health. So let's dive into what I discovered. Let's start with castor oil's potential for dry eyes, because that's probably where most eye doctors are familiar with using it. If you've checked out any over-the-counter eye drops for dry eyes, you might have noticed castor oil listed among the ingredients. It's common in these drops, even in some prescription medications like Restasis, due to its unique benefits. So, why does castor oil work so well for dry eyes? It's because it creates a protective layer over the eye, keeping the tear film from evaporating too quickly and adding a bit of lubrication to prevent the top eyelid from scraping against the eye's surface. I came across a fascinating study showing before and after images of the tear film, and the results were striking. On the left, you could see an irregular tear film before treatment. On the right, it looked so much more stable and smoother after using eye drops with castor oil. Participants in this study applied these drops 6 times a day for 2 weeks, and they not only reported feeling better, but also showed improvements in tear film stability and fewer issues with meibomian gland disruption, something many people struggle with due to clogged oil glands on their eyelids. But here's an important note: they weren't using pure castor oil. It was a diluted form within the eye drops. Using pure castor oil directly on the eye raises some safety concerns. I'll get into those in a bit, but first, let's explore some intriguing research on the benefits of using 100% castor oil, just not directly on the eye itself. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might find it helpful. Your support really makes a difference, and if you subscribe, it helps us reach even more people. Thank you. In 2021, a randomized study tested 100% cold-pressed castor oil on the eyelids to treat blepharitis, an inflammatory condition of the eyelids and eyelashes. Participants applied castor oil just along the lash line, twice daily for 4 weeks. The results were impressive. They saw major improvements in blepharitis symptoms, including a reduction in lid margin thickness, fewer spider veins, called telangiectasia, less eyelash loss, and decreased eyelash crusting. They even found less friction between the upper eyelid and eyeball, a condition known as lid wiper epitheliopathy. While it was a small study, it offers solid support for using castor oil on the eyelids. So, what do all these claims about castor oil and eye health really mean? For example, some people believe castor oil helps reduce under eye bags due to its anti-inflammatory properties. While there aren't any studies directly proving that it reduces eye bags, the reduction in lid margin thickness shown in the blepharitis study could hint at some potential benefits for puffiness. But to know for sure, we'd need more research. If you've tried castor oil on your eyelids and felt it helped with eye bags, drop a comment and share your experience. I'd love to hear about it. Let's talk about castor oil and its potential for boosting eyelash growth. You might have seen bottles in stores claiming that castor oil supports stronger, fuller-looking lashes. But here's the catch. I couldn't find any research specifically proving that castor oil helps your eyelashes grow. That being said, castor oil has been used for years as a treatment for hair loss, and it actually shares a similar chemical structure to prostaglandins, which are known to promote hair growth. This is the same reason why some glaucoma medications and eyelash serums use prostaglandin analogs to stimulate eyelash growth. In fact, the study I mentioned earlier showed a reduction in matarosis, eyelash loss. So while castor oil may not directly grow lashes, it could help keep them healthy and prevent them from falling out. Now, let's tackle the big questions. Can castor oil help with cataracts or eye floaters? Unfortunately, I couldn't find any studies linking castor oil to either of these issues, so there's no solid evidence either way. But here's an interesting thought. Is it even possible for castor oil to absorb deep enough into the eye to affect cataracts or eye floaters? These are both deep structures inside the eyeball, And after diving into some research on how substances get absorbed by the eye, it seems highly unlikely that castor oil could penetrate deep enough to make an impact. The cornea, conjunctiva, and even the sclera act as barriers, making it tough for castor oil to get past them. Even though castor oil has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, it just doesn't seem plausible that it could reach those deeper areas of the eye to help with cataracts or floaters. So, if you've tried castor oil for these issues and noticed an improvement in your vision, it's likely due to a placebo effect, or because the oil helped with dry eyes, which in turn improved your vision. Of course, more research is needed to confirm any of this. Now, after going over all this information, I know some of you might still be tempted to use 100% castor oil directly on your eyes. But before you do, there are some important safety concerns I need to share with you. First off, it's all about concentration. In the studies using castor oil for dry eyes, they always dilute it down to about 2%. This is because pure castor oil is very thick, and when it's not diluted, it doesn't mix well with the tear film. Instead, it forms sticky, ropey strings on the eye, like you can see in this photo, which can leave you with blurry vision. So, even though castor oil has some great benefits, it's important to use it in the right concentration. Another thing to keep in mind is that castor oil can actually be harmful to the conjunctival cells, the clear membrane that covers the white part of your eye. At high concentrations, it can cause irritation and even damage to these cells. In addition, the same study I mentioned earlier raised a concern about how castor oil is stored. When kept at warmer temperatures for extended periods, it can lower the oil's pH to 5.8, which increases irritation when it comes into contact with the eye. And here's one of the biggest concerns. Castor oil from the store isn't regulated the way medications are. This means it's hard to know exactly what's in it, and it's usually not sterile. That opens the door for potential eye infections or other complications. Plus, as I mentioned earlier, we just don't have enough research to tell us whether it's safe to put castor oil directly into the eye. So, no matter what, always check with your doctor before you try anything new in your eyes. They can offer advice, monitor your progress, and make sure you stay safe. From what I've found, castor oil seems to show promise for eyelid health in cases like blepharitis, and it can be beneficial for dry eye when used in diluted eye drops, especially for conditions like meibomian gland dysfunction. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever used castor oil for anything related to your eyes? What benefits did you experience? Or do you have any questions about using castor oil on your eyes? If you're curious about which eye drops contain castor oil, or if you want to know some of my favorite dry eye drops, be sure to check them out in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope this video gave you some helpful insights. You can check out our other video here on this oil mixed with castor oil. The results will shock you. You'll want to see this one. See you in the next video.